I am one of 4 brothers. Jimmy is the oldest, then Bobby, then me, and then there is the baby, Joey. We grew up in the same house, ate together, played together, and got in trouble together. Growing up together, you would think we'd have gotten to know each other pretty well. But there are still things that we are learning about each other even today. For James, he would spend 30 years getting to know his older half-brother Jesus. They too grew up together, ate together, played together, and went to the synagogue together. You'd think that they would know each other pretty well. But when it came to understanding the most important thing about Jesus, James and most of the family didn't believe. The Gospels give us a glimpse into the family tension. The first time John mentions Jesus' brothers, they're mocking him. Jesus had just performed miracles. He fed the 5,000 with a little boy's sack lunch, and he walked on water. Jesus was drawing a lot of attention to himself, and this didn't sit well with his brothers. The Jewish holiday called the Feast of the Tabernacles was approaching, and this is Jesus' brothers' advice. Leave here and go to Judea, that your disciples also may see the works you are doing. For no one works in secret if he seeks to be known openly. If you do these things, show yourself to the world. John 7, 3 and 4. They basically told Jesus to leave. Go on the road and show your miracles to the world, just as long as you're not here. In the next verse, John adds, for not even his brothers believed in him. John 7, 5. On another occasion, Jesus' family became alarmed when opposition from the Pharisees came too close to home. Mark records this in his Gospel. Then he went home, and the crowd gathered again so that they could not even eat. And when his family heard it, they went out to seize him, for they were saying, he is out of his mind. Mark 3, 20 and 21. Sorry about all the trouble. He's just a little cuckoo. We'll take him from here. Come on, Jesus. It's time for your medication. Not only would Jesus have to deal with people who wanted to kill him, but Jesus would also have to contend with his own family who didn't believe in him and was tired of having to deal with all the commotion. On another occasion, Jesus was in the middle of speaking to people when his mom and brothers wanted to talk to him. Here was his reply. Who is my mother, and who are my brothers? And stretching out his hand toward his disciples, he said, here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. Matthew 12, 46-50. If that were my mom and my brothers, they would have grabbed me by the scruff of my neck and said, I'll show you who your mama is. But Jesus was serious, and he drew a clear line in the sand with his family, saying in essence, only those who have responded to my call to turn from their sins, trust in my message of forgiveness, and follow me, will have a place in the family of God. Matthew tells us that Jesus would not do much ministry in his hometown because of his family's unbelief. He said, a prophet is not without honor except in his hometown and in his own household. And he did not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Matthew 13, 53-58. When the Gospels name those with Jesus at the cross, the only immediate family member was his mother. Mary and Joseph knew and believed in Jesus, but not his half-brother James. Here is the reason why. The faith and belief that Mary had in Jesus was a gift from God. The Apostle Paul tells us in Ephesians that everyone is born dead in their trespasses and sins, and James was no exception. He, too, like all of humanity, was born spiritually dead and unable to believe. The Apostle Paul tells us that it is the work and will of God to make us alive with Christ, giving us the ability to believe and do good works. Inspired by God, the Apostle writes, but God, being rich in mercy, because of the great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved. And this is not your own doing.